Hey man, you have a chance to watch that EA conference today?
EA, what was the point? Let me guess, they put out a FIFA 18, a Madden 18, an NBA 18.
Well, no, that's not... Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, they had some other stuff too.
Oh yeah, like some DLC? I bet there was some DLC.
Well, yeah, there was some DLC, but they actually had some pretty good trailers out today.
Oh yeah, like
like Need for Speed?
Yeah.
What's going on, YouTube? This is Darklight Dreamer, and I'm here with special guest...
Wolf-Brother Methos.
From the channel Frost and Fist. If you guys have not checked him out yet, please do me a favor and do so, and we are here to give you the skinny on the EA conference at E3.
That's right.
And there were several things that were actually shown that surprised me today, but we're actually going to just start from the top of the list, and we're going to go down the list of everything that was shown today. So we're going to go ahead and open up with the more boring stuff. We're going to start off with a little bit of sports. The new Madden game.
To clarify, you know, if you're into sports games, awesome, do your thing.
More power to you.
Nothing against them. We don't personally play those games, but, you know, do what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. If you guys are into sports games, I actually think you're really going to like what you see of Madden 18. Long Shot is what it's called, actually. So they actually have a lot of good story. Actually, the only trailer that they showed for Madden 18 was a story-driven trailer.
Now, previously in the past, I saw a lot of, and I worked for GameStop for a number of years, and I saw a lot of trailers over and over again where you might get like a tiny piece of a cutscene, but most of it was just the in-game graphics of seeing the ball passed around, people getting hit.
Yeah, people making touchdowns, people high-fiving each other.
That's
and
right. This
one was all story. It actually even had a guy that was modeled after Cottonmouth from the, what's his name? Well, what's the series name? Luke Cage. Luke Cage from the Marvel series.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so, yeah, the story actually was really deep. It actually like made me kind of want to sit down and play a football game for once. So it was like a Saturday Night Lights kind of feel to it.
That's awesome. I've never seen Saturday Night Lights.
I think I did once upon a time, and I may be completely misquoting that, but yeah, it has that kind of feel to it, I think.
Sweet.
So aside from Madden, and obviously, you know, the graphics look great for a Madden game.
It really did. It really did.
So, if you guys are into football games, I think you're really going to enjoy that. But also, there was Battlefield 1, which, you know, that's been out for a while, but they have a new expansion coming out.
Now, this really interests me because I was a Call of Duty player for years, and I absolutely love shooter games, and I absolutely love that Battlefield kind of feeling. Now, don't get me wrong, I know Call of Duty and Battlefield are some very, very...
you're either very Call of Duty or you're very Battlefield. There's usually not very many people that like both.
It's a big rivalry like Crips and Bloods, Red versus Blue, Battlefield and Call of Duty. But I was a big Modern Warfare fan, and the new Call of Duties haven't really earned any loyalty from me. I feel like, this is okay.
Well, they say that World War I is supposed to give you that old feel again. Good story, goes back to World War II.
That's awesome. Well, and you know, now that the new Call of Duties aren't really doing it for me, I'm feeling really stoked about this new Battlefield because, I mean, the whole open world, you know, not open world, but like, you know, it's a big battlefield.
Huge battlefield.
You know, and you're only playing...
There's a ton of players all at once. It really feels like a war, supposedly.
Right, yeah, you're a cog in the machine. You're a little piece of the action happening.
And I hear it's also very easy to die in that game.
Over and over.
Now, as someone that doesn't play a lot of FPS games, I'm actually quite intimidated by the Battlefield series. I've never tried it, but you know, I've always kind of wanted to try these things out. I wanted to play more Call of Duty. I wanted to play more FPS games. I wanted to try Battlefield 1 because I want to try all the
I think we should try the new one together, and I think you may actually like it more because there's less pressure on you to be a star. Because you're just, again, it's such a small piece of the battle.
If you die, you're just a small soldier dying, but everybody's still going to yell at you like you fucking knew.
I think if you got, like, you know, 20, 40 people on your team, people are going to be less worried about your couple of deaths.
Well, Battlefield 1 is actually going to get 2 new maps, one coming out this month and one coming out next month. They're both night maps, which, I mean, how many shooter games have, like, night maps, right? Like, they're always at night. You're down in the trenches. It's a very beautiful-looking night-like environment.
That's going to be cool to see.
I think that's going to be neat. I think it's going to add a level of strategy. Well, probably it'll be harder to see your enemies and everything. So, along with that, there is the big expansion for Battlefield 1. It's called In the Name of the Tsar. It's supposed to be like Russian-based. It's supposed to be like on the Eastern Front of World War I. And it's supposed to feature big epic battles in the wintry Eastern Front of World War I. It's said to be the biggest front in World War I, so it's supposed to be like a lot of content. It's supposed to be a huge patch, a huge expansion. 6 new maps, the Russian army, including the Hussar cavalry. So, you know, you have like people on like horseback and stuff like that. And you have a pretty cool looking squad. They're called the Women's Battalion of Death. They look sexy. They look pretty cool. I mean, I don't know anything about these things.
Women's Battalion of Death sounds awesome. And, you know, I've got a thing for women that are badasses and can kick my ass, so.
Definitely. Of course, there's going to be new vehicles and new weapons. So that's just a given.
I think if, what system is this coming out on? All of the systems? I know something like a Madden is going to be on everything, you know, computer, PlayStation, Xbox.
Right. I want to say that Battlefield 1 is a PC experience, but if there's other consoles, I'll leave that right there. I didn't do that kind of research on it, I guess, since I don't play the game. But you guys probably already know.
Well, if it is on something that we can play together, I don't know if my computer will be able to handle it, but
yeah,
I think some
try.
split screen antics
we'll be big old noobs together.
Yeah, I think it'll be cool. We may have to do that together, guys.
All right, so there's supposed to be some additions to player progression and the way that you level up your characters. There's going to be an operations mode, which I don't know much about, but you guys probably know some stuff about it. And there's also specializations, new specializations for your characters, so you can kind of further customize your experience.
Sounds pretty awesome.
I'll probably have some footage playing over for it, but it looks awesome. The graphic actually looked really cool for it. Like, I'm sure that, you know, this is just standard Battlefield 1 fare, but like, I've never looked into Battlefield 1 before, and it just looks gorgeous. Anyway, there's also FIFA 18 coming out.
Yeah.
We don't really need to talk about that. It's another FIFA game. If you guys are into FIFA, more power to you. It looks gorgeous. I mean, the graphics look great. I don't know how good they are compared to FIFA 17, but you guys be the judge. Let me know down in the comments if you're gonna be looking forward to FIFA 18 and why. Football!
Yes.
But something I am really, really excited for, Need for Speed Payback.
Okay, the new Need for Speed...
New Need for Speed.
The new Need for Speed game looks actually really intense.
Yeah, it looks great. I mean, I don't play a lot of racing games. As you know, racing games are not my thing. I always have a problem with like making the turns correctly.
Right. Another left turn.
Another left turn, another right turn, and I'm hitting every single wall every turn. I can go straight, no problem. I might even be able to shift lanes, no problem, but hitting those walls.
But no matter how fancy the track is, just being on the track and trying to beat other people at the finish line never really interested me.
That's the interesting thing about this game, though. Need for Speed Payback, you're not rewarded just for being first. It's supposed to take, you know, you're supposed to be behind the driver's seat, or behind the steering wheel of this epic driving adventure. It's supposed to be a very intense, very story-driven game. I think that's a lot of the theme that EA is going for, is more story-driven stuff.
Yeah, and instead of being on a track or out on the streets just doing your thing, you know, you're actually, there's a lot of chase scenes, a lot of escape scenes.
It reminds me of like being in a Fast and Furious movie.
That's what it reminds me of. Literally, the first one especially, you know, chasing down truckers, I mean, that's badass.
I don't know if you guys have seen the trailer yet, but you're probably seeing it right now. This one's going to include a deep single-player campaign. You're on a revenge mission to take down a company called The House. They're actually a cartel, and they rule over this whole city's casinos, the criminal syndicates, and all the police as well. So they have their hands in all the honeypots.
This kind of reminds me of an earlier Need for Speed game I saw where you played as the police and you know, you're chasing down racers.
Right. I actually forget what that one's called. Of course, I don't play a lot of racing games, but I know that one of our friends did play a lot of that one.
Right, and that was very similar, you know, with the chase scenes, hunting someone down, you know, and making it happen. And I think very similarly, this chasing down the big rig scene that we see here in the trailer, that's going to be kind of a very similar thing where we're making more of an action game instead of just who can get to the finish line first.
Definitely, it's like fulfilling your missions, you know, completing the heist correctly. Yeah, it looks, and it's supposed to be big and open world, so it's gonna be great. I think I would definitely want to try this out. I mean, I'm probably not gonna rush to buy it for $60 as soon as it hits the shelves.
Definitely be worth the red box, though.
Yeah, definitely so. It promises wild heist missions, intense car pursuits, grueling car battles, and jaw-dropping action moments. And it's not only just about being the fastest, but it puts you behind the steering wheel in an action driving fantasy. The trailer looks great. I'm just saying, like a lot of action going on. Just looks visually stunning.
Explosions.
Seamless transitions between like the story, like the cutscenes, and actual gameplay in that. So it looks really great.
Also, the perspective change seemed pretty cool. You know, going from the chase driver to the getaway driver. You know, as the chick was making off with the car in the trailer.
Yeah, complete change in perspective. And there are 3 different playable characters in this. It's Tyler, Jess, and Matt. And they're all supposed to have their own unique play styles and strengths and everything like that.
That's pretty awesome.
So I think that's going to be neat. I don't know if you're going to choose the characters or if you're going to like transition between them during different parts of the game. I mean that's kind of
it kind of seems story driven on who's driving, but you never know.
Yeah. There's supposed to be city landscapes, mountains, deserts, and canyons in this. It's going to be the most diverse open world Need for Speed game. So there are going to be more environments in this one than you've seen in previous titles.
That's awesome.
It's neat. You take customization to a whole new level in this one, supposedly. There are lots of visual and performance customizations, and includes relics, which I think is a really interesting concept, because what relics are is you find crappy, scrap, vintage cars. They're like all rusted and crap, and you actually have to work on them to get them to stock, to regular stock, and then you can turn them into like a supercar. So you can like get an old style bug, and then you know old rusted bug that you turn into a standard bug, and then you make it a super bug.
That's pretty cool.
Which is actually one of the things that they showed.
I'm not big into racing games, as we've said multiple times here, but I think one thing that I know people who do play Need for Speed games, and even me who isn't into the racing scene, but I like any game in a video game where you can customize your stuff.
Customization, man.
You know, make it your own. That's pretty solid right there.
I mean, that's what's going to draw me in, is not only am I going to get attached to the characters, but whenever I get a car, I'm like, this is my car. This is my baby. So, I mean, that's what's going to draw me in, personally. You know, all the customization options. And you can just make it look however you want. Also, not just Need for Speed, there's another great game coming out on EA. I mean, looks great anyway. It's called A Way Out.
Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah. It's about 2 guys that get sent to prison, and they're trying to help each other break out and everything. It's done by the same company that did Brothers, A Tale of Two Sons, which actually here is a really great game.
I was going to play that.
Very emotional, is what I hear. It's a story about brotherhood, so we definitely need to play it.
Definitely.
I know there are some people going, oh, because I know it's supposed to be kind of an emotional story. They're like, oh no, do it. But this is an interesting concept for a game, because it's supposed to be split screen only.
Right. And I think that that's going to be very cool to do. I hope the game still does well, though, because I know there's some people who are going to be turned off by the fact that they must play with someone else.
It's an interesting and unique concept. And I love the concept because that means you're kind of forced, if you want to play this game, to have someone share the experience with you. You're both taking on this journey, and they're 2 completely different characters with different personalities, and they have their different strengths and everything, different goals. And you're going through the story together, but separate, kind of at the same time.
It is cool that you can operate completely independently. One of the cool things that they showed is that one person could be in a cutscene, and the other one still be in the open environment.
Yeah, and you're watching the other guy be in the cutscene.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
I think that is incredibly neat. It includes a mix of gameplay styles. It's not just going to be an exploration game or an action game. It's going to be exploration, action, and there's going to be driving sequences as well.
Right, and I saw that you can make multiple different choices.
Oh yeah, like it says that like throughout the entire game, all these different things that you have to do.
So multiple aspects of how you can accomplish the mission, different outcomes to how things can happen. That's going to make for some major replayability.
And it seems like you have to take into consideration each character's strengths as well.
Right, skill set.
As you see, like there's one guy that's like the tough guy, so he's going to use his muscle more. He's going to be more aggressive. But the other guy seems to be more charming.
More street smart. You know, able to, work the system.
Yeah, work with people. You see somebody giving him bribing somebody in the trailer, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, you have different approaches, different situations. Now this is actually part of the EA Originals program, which I think is actually a very neat thing that EA is doing. Is what they're doing is they're actually taking in independent developers that are like, hey, I think that they have potential, and I'd love to fund them. They're actively searching for independent game developers, and they actually are giving them the artistic freedom to make it how they want as well, supposedly.
I think this is a really smart business move by EA because if you look at, say, Five Nights at Freddy's, for example, there are some of these little indie companies that have come in with a really great idea.
A lot of talent. I think
really solid execution and made a huge name for themselves.
I think in the last few years, indie games have like exploded, really, especially with like Game Jolt and stuff like that. Other companies, Steam's Greenlight program. Yeah, I mean, they've really brought out a lot of good independent indie developers.
And this is kind of a great way, instead of competing with these little guys, these little indie guys that may blow up and blossom and become a big fish, and kind of rein it in and make it work for them, but also give support to these indie guys, because while these indie games have sometimes had a great big explosion, I mean, it's tough. I mean,
it's really tough, and especially you have a great idea, and you may even have great talent, but you just don't have the money. You don't have the backing.
That's why I feel so bad for Allison Road. You know, we really want Allison Road out, and they've had so much, you know, funding has been such a rocky, you know, a rocky path for them.
Yeah, the terrible thing is they actually had a company pick them up and they had the funding, but then you had like a conflict of ideas and stuff like that, and that's why it's so important that EA is giving them the artistic freedom that they want to make this game.
That's excellent.
Also, there's Anthem, the new Bioware title. They just teased it.
Yeah, I would really love to know what that's about.
Oh, you see that awesome suit, or like, I love the animation. You see the suit open up. It actually looks kind of comfortable on the inside. All padded.
You know, as a fan of Warhammer, of Centurions, I'm down for anything in power armor, honestly.
Power Extreme! Yeah, the power armor has always been awesome. And this looks like it's going to be a really epic, like a sci-fi kind of game. I mean, we don't know anything about it, but just the way that little teaser trailer looked. The more is going to be shown tomorrow at the Microsoft conference.
That'll be awesome.
So we'll discuss that.
I mean, just from the little teaser so far, it also looks like it's going to be a kind of a grim dark kind of environment. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, so moving on top of that, there's also NBA Live 18. I mean, we already knew there was going to be another NBA game, and that's not really a surprise.
Go basketball.
It looks good, I guess. I love that the guy that we were watching play it was dribbling the ball with R2, L2, R2, L2. You get a little bit of the feel of actually dribbling. You get a lot of having to read your opponent's moves and countering it. I mean, if you're into basketball, I could see how it could be a pretty immersive experience. In this one, there's actually 2 story modes. Interestingly enough, there's like the league where you're going for like the rings and everything. You're going for a championship and the fame. But there's also a street mode where you're trying to get like street cred by playing basketball, playing the b-ball outside of the school.
Then a couple of guys. Anyways, you know, I kind of like this idea, even though, you know, again, not my thing. But the fact that it's I don't even play these games, but I again, from watching the commercials, from being in
GameStop, from an objective point of view.
From an objective point of view, I'm tired of seeing the same old
it's the
stadium.
Yeah, it's the stadium. Yeah. You see the same thing in every trailer. It's the same old league stadium, and I'm sure you're going to get like a similar thing. Maybe people that play a lot of basketball are like, man, they're yelling at us right now, like all these stadiums are different.
But it really looks very similar.
Yeah.
We're going to see people in a brown, polished wood environment throwing the ball around. But this is going to be more dynamic. You got the street mode.
You can go street mode. They have completely different venues than in, or different, yeah, I guess different venues.
Yeah, they showed a couple of different neighborhoods in the trailer. And
yeah, I mean, you wear different clothes, obviously, because you're not like in a league jersey, you know, and everything like that. So, I mean, it looks neat, I gotta say. If I were into basketball, I'd definitely, give that a check out.
And I think change and progress is always good, so at least it's something different to look at.
Yeah, and not even just one story mode, 2 story modes. Pretty awesome. Now, here is the big kahuna from the EA conference, Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Battlefront 2 looks pretty awesome.
Battlefront 2, I mean, that was a huge announcement. I mean, they announced it before, but they didn't really show any gameplay of it.
Now, I'm going to have to say, when the first Battlefront came out for... this current...
Battlefront 1?
Battlefront 1,
yeah.
Now, when it came out, I was kind of disappointed, because...
Yeah, I mean, they really hyped it up.
Yeah.
And it was really kind of a disappointment.
I mean, there was just, a lot of running around killing each other. Yeah, that was about it.
People were like, I thought there was going to be this awesome, epic Star Wars story, and there just wasn't.
You see, I played the games on the older systems, and there was always a story mode. Yet, kind of,
sometimes they were a little bit campy.
They were very campy, but they were also mega fun. It was great to be part of some of these storylines, that you got to witness on the big screen,
Definitely. Now, one of the voice actresses, that one that's playing the new commander, what's her name? It was Commander... I can't remember what her name is. I thought I cleverly wrote it down, but apparently I did not.
It's all good.
But anyway, there's a badass new female commander, and her voice actress was at the EA conference, and she was talking about how she really wanted them to deliver an in-depth cinema quality story that takes place between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens.
Okay, so is it really going to be cinema quality, or is it going to be campy like the old ones? Like I'm all
They
for the
say
campy ones.
she says it's supposed to be cinema quality, so I don't know. I mean, EA has made a lot of promises in the past.
I have a lot of good memories of me hanging out with this guy and our other brother Cloud, playing some of the old original previous generation Battlefront games.
Mm-hmm.
We stayed up all night. We bought part 1 and part 2 at GameStop and played them all in the same night. And you know, one of the lines is when they execute Order 66 and they murdered their Jedi leader, and they said that we came to love her, and we were all thankful for the helmets we wore, so she could not see the tears in our eyes. I just will remember that scene forever. The whole game was pretty campy, but like that moment,
That scene was well done.
it was really,
They really
well
wanted
done.
to focus on the sad. But yeah, it's going to bridge the story between The Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens, so we're going to get an untold story that is actually supposed to be canon in the legend of Star Wars.
So I'm really excited about that, and I think the possibility of being able to get in some Kylo Ren action would be very cool.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to be able to play as Kylo Ren. You're also going to get to play as Rey, and there's supposed to be some DLC coming out later on. That's also Finn and Captain Phasma, which a lot of people are happy about Captain Phasma because she's supposed to be a big badass, and she just was kind of punked in the movie.
I've got some theories on that. They said that they got their plans from an inside contact, and Phasma went down way too easily. I'm just saying, maybe you didn't get to see her be a badass yet because she's on the other side.
Maybe. A lot of people were mad that read the books, though, and said that she was supposed to be a badass.
We'll see, guys.
This is supposed to be a huge improvement for Battlefront 1. They actually opened up this part of the EA conference by saying that they heard a lot of positive feedback from you guys, and also a lot of constructive feedback from you guys, which is their way of saying a lot of negative feedback. But a lot of constructive feedback, so this game is supposed to be 3 times the content of Battlefield 1. It's supposed to be huge for 1. 3 times bigger than Battlefield 1. That's insane. It includes couch co-op with Return of Skirmish mode, so you and I could sit down on this couch and just play some Battlefront 2.
That's awesome, because I noticed a lot of games have been phasing out the split screen kind of,
Yeah, in favor of like online only, and that actually kind of irritates me because it takes away the ability to just sit down and play with your brother or your significant other or your kids or whatever.
It kind of takes away the family gaming together kind of feeling.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be on a TV over here and a TV over here, and you got to set up your whole Wi-Fi thingamajigger.
Yeah, I understand from a business perspective, like, yeah, this will get us to sell more PlayStations and Xboxes.
Yeah.
More copies of the game.
So don't you want your own personal PlayStation with your own personal ID? And it's like, oh, kinda, I guess. Yeah, I really do. But in multiplayer, they'll have more heroes. They're supposed to have a ton of heroes in this one.
That's gonna be awesome.
More vehicles, lots of planets, space battles, and starfighter assaults. They're supposed to have deeper progression. That was a big thing. Deeper progression than the first one.
And when the way we unlock these heroes is supposed to change too, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. The way that you unlock heroes in this is this also has to do with me talking about the customization in this, because what happens is when you're playing it, as you're playing a match, this is what it looks like happens. You get points playing it through a match, and you spend these points on upgrades for that match. So you can improve the character you're playing as. Usually it's just like a stormtrooper, soldier, or a regular like rebel or whatever.
Right.
And as you improve their talents, you can eventually unlock a named character, and you can evolve from a regular soldier to a named character like Kylo Ren, like Rey. And all of them have different powers, and they don't come just with a stock set of powers. You can buy or slot different powers depending on your playstyle.
2 things here. I think that's great because the old style was a kill streak version.
Yeah,
and
I'm just not a fan of kill streaks.
It really adds to the snowball effect, if you're already getting hammered by the other
Tell me if you guys have experienced this. You're playing a game, Call of Duty, Battlefront 1, right? And your team is just sucking.
Yeah.
Maybe you're sucking, and the other team is doing very well. But you think you might be able to get it back. But no, you don't get it back because they already got their kill streaks going. So here comes in Darth Vader and just wrecks all your shit. And you gotta just ship in the air and just pulls it down with the Force and just rips into people with his lightsaber, and there's nothing you can do about it because he's Darth Vader.
It can be really frustrating, guys.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, I always like games like, I'm gonna relate this to Yu-Gi-Oh, where you can turn it around and, you know, have that comeback feeling, right? And I think that's awesome.
Yeah. And I'm not saying, guys, that I want, like, you know, it to be a balanced game where they, oh, you're losing, let me help you out. I mean, I don't want that. I just want an opportunity to climb back up on my own without giving them an extra unfair advantage because they were better than me to begin with.
Yeah, I like the ability to turn things around.
No need to teabag me with Darth Vader Force choke, okay?
The other thing I wanted to say is, man, I hope one of these new named characters you can be with all these extra options is going to be TR-8R. That would be awesome.
Yes. Oh, and they actually also showed old Han Solo.
Nice.
Also, they're going to have different outfits and stuff that spans like the different series. So you can walk in as old Han Solo, young Han Solo, you know, maybe new Luke, old Luke, new Luke, whatever. Anyway, there's supposed to be a lot more balance in the gameplay. They have ways to kind of, they really say that they've like been focusing on keeping the game balanced, which I felt, you know, for the previously stated reasons, Battlefront 1 just didn't seem like it was a very balanced game. It just felt like you become Darth Vader and win. And hope the other people don't get Darth Vader. I mean, because, let's face it, I mean, even if you're playing as the Jedi, he becomes Darth Vader somehow just because he's awesome.
I'd be interested, I didn't play it long enough to really get a feel of what the balance was like, but I do know at the lower levels, it felt like the Imperials just had
More of an advantage?
No, I felt like the Imperials had more advantage.
Oh, yeah.
The Rebels just had sucky weapons compared to the Imperials.
Yeah, that's very true.
That's just a feeling I got. Again, it didn't keep my interest long enough for me to keep playing.
Also, the vehicle gameplay, it seems like it's a little bit more tactical in this. You know, you're not just, I'm going to jump in a tank or in a ship and wreck people because I got good at flying the ship. Because let's face it, they're hard to fly with. They're actually, that's one thing that's been intimidating for me about playing Battlefield is that, or Battlefront. I keep on saying Battlefield because Battlefield 1. But Battlefront has been intimidating for me because I know I can't pilot a vehicle very well. But these look like they're a lot smoother to pilot. And also there's a lot of balance so that way when you jump into a vehicle you don't just automatically win because you're good at it. They have some anti-vehicle weapons, ion weapons, as you guys know in the Star Wars universe. So there's that. The environments in this just look gorgeous too. The different planets look great. That water though.
That water though. You're not horrible at piloting things. I remember a lot of great Halo days where I was gunner and you took the Jeep around and we wrecked some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I still think I was pretty bad at piloting it, but anyway. Also, one of the ion cannons is mounted on the little walker things that like the Imperials like jumped on top of, and it's like an AT-AT, I don't remember what they're called. They're like an Imperial assault walker or something like that. But you mount on it and you walk around with this little like ion cannon, like pew 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 pew.
That's pretty cool.
So yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to Battlefront 2. I was not really so much wanting to get Battlefront. I don't even own Battlefront 1, but I'm probably gonna get Battlefront 2.
I have a copy right over there. You could have
collecting dust on the shelf. So yeah, that's pretty much all of the EA stuff that happened today. I mean, and that's not even just highlights. That's everything.
I'm excited for the story mode on Battlefront. I'm excited for the Battlefield. I've never tried one of those before, but this one looks really good. I'm excited for to see what that new the teaser.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, by the way, they say that the feel of the gun in Battlefront 2 just feels better. I mean, that's important. I mean, I felt like in Battlefront 1 it looked like it was a bit janky, let's be honest.
I felt like that way about all the Rebel weapons.
Pew, 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 pew. Supposedly they're gonna have a lot better feel to it in this game.
It's good.
But anyway, so that's all the EA games. So let's talk a little bit about some non-EA games that were not even shown at E3, but they were just announced on E3 day because hype.
Because hype.
Because
that
hype.
Train.
Now, this one's been announced for a long time. They've shown a little bit about it here and there. It was on Kickstarter. It's a game called Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night.
Very cool. Animation art style looks great.
It's like an anime version of Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It's actually being produced by the same guy that made Symphony of the Night. It's, what was his name? Koji Igarashi was his name.
Awesome.
He made a lot of the Castlevania games prior to Castlevania Lords of Shadow. I don't know why I had trouble thinking of that, but he made a lot of the Castlevania games prior to that.
Okay.
So,
it has that kind of like PS2 side-scroller kind of feel.
no, yeah, definitely. But the background looks great. The
Background does look gorgeous.
And just the battle animations, it looks like there's like a little transformation thing she does with like icy looking wings or stained glass looking wings. Anyway, looks gorgeous. Love the anime type art style. The music sounds pretty great. I'm looking forward to it. I mean,
That'd be cool.
Symphony of the Night was my favorite Castlevania game, so I mean, this looks like it's very reminiscent of Symphony of the Night. I mean, it's even called Ritual of the Night. I mean, how much more on the nose could you be?
So close.
So there's that. Very excited about that. And also, Fate Grand Order has been announced for a while. You know, it's been in Japan for a while, and it's actually very, very popular in Japan. So it's so popular, in fact, that a lot of American players were playing Grand Order way before they even announced that they were going to do an English version.
That's awesome.
I mean, the Fate Stay Night series is definitely one of my favorite anime series. I'd say it's my favorite anime series of all time.
It's in my top 5, and I love the Fate Stay series.
Yeah.
I played a lot of Brave Frontier for the longest time, and I think the cross between the two is going to be excellent.
Yeah, Fate Stay Night, Brave Frontier style game. I mean, what's not to like? Except maybe the fact that I'm not going to get the character that I want anytime. But anyway, they finally announced a release date for the English version. It's going to be June 25th.
That's cool.
Later on this month. I'm super excited. I'm going to play it, and I'm going to get mad that I didn't get the character that I wanted again.
And those things are highly addictive too. Brave Frontier, and I'm sure this will be the same way. You can spend hours on your phone just swiping.
What's that lie we always tell ourselves when we play these kinds of games? Just like $5 more. I'll do one more poll. And it's always more cash efficient to get like the bigger package. You know, you get the $20 package.
I'm the other way. I'm like, it's just $2 if I just get one. It's just $2. It's just $2.
Yeah.
It's just $2.
So like, but if you spend $20, you always get more gems or premium currency or whatever than if you just spend $5. And I'm like, I'm gonna just spend $5. I didn't get the character I wanted. I'm gonna spend another $5. I didn't get, so I build up to $20 anyway, so I would have gotten more bang for my buck if I would have just shelled out $20, but I lied to myself at the beginning. But this is going to include characters not just from Fate Stay Night and Fate Zero and Fate Stay Night Only Blade Works, but it's also going to have characters from all the other side lores, that new game that I'm playing right now that's like Dynasty Warriors, but Fate Stay Night.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's a pretty awesome game, by the way.
It's got a ton of characters in it too.
It really does. It really does. And also from a lot of the different Fates in it. It's going to have Joan of Arc or Jeanne d'Arc in it, who plays as ruler, who's supposed to oversee the Grail War, you know, when some shit goes down. But anyway, yeah, I'm really looking forward to Fate Grand Order, and I think that's pretty much all that we have to cover today, man.
I mean, a lot of announcements so far. And it's just, what, day one?
Yeah, day one. Microsoft conference is tomorrow.
That's going to be a big day.
And Bethesda conference is also tomorrow, but all the smaller conferences I'm probably just going to do like in one video at the end because, you know, I'm going to cover Microsoft tomorrow and probably Sony conference the next day. So,
sounds great.
Awesome.
I'm excited to see what Bethesda puts out.
Yeah, Bethesda's probably going to have some great stuff, I gotta say. We're going to have a lot to talk about, I think. Bethesda usually, you know, is pretty impressive with their releases. I mean, I'm a big fan of Bethesda games. We'll talk a little bit about that more another day, though. Anyway, thank you very much for being on my show, man.
Oosh.
And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know we stumbled a lot on our words and everything, but anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed it anyway. If you did, please do me a huge favor with that thumbs up button down below. It really, truly means a lot more to me, you guys know. Drop some comments too. Let's talk about any of these games or all of these games. I love hearing from you guys. I just love chatting with you guys. It really and truly makes my day. And if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, you guys know that I would love to have you guys as a member of the Darklight family, and that we'll continue this YouTube journey together again very, very soon. Until then,
may your dreams light your darkest hour.
And I'll see you next time.